at least for when I make games, I'm a bit loosey goosey in my development. I don't know where the game is going. I kind of just make things as I go. I don't have this grand timeline, this grand vision. So for me to promise something to someone is something that I'm not sure if I can really do comfortably. A lot of my games start in one place and end up somewhere completely different. 30 Flights of Loving started with a completely different ending and story, and what shipped was completely, quite different from that. So for me, being in complete control of the project in such a way that I'm completely responsible for my own funding is something that I feel a bit more comfortable with, and it's something I'm very fortunate to have. I'm very fortunate to have people who've supported my projects. But to make something that doesn't quite deliver what I promised is something that I'm not sure if I'd feel comfortable doing. I try to make games for people who don't have games being made for them. I feel that there's so much potential that games can do. Like I feel that there's so much unexplored territory, and even though I grew up, the games that I made as a hobby growing up were kind of more traditional first-person shooter games where you run around, you shoot monsters, and I love those games. I find them very fun. But you know what? There's already plenty of people making games for that, and they're doing it way better than I ever could. I'd love to make a modern military shooter, but I would just get crushed even before I started, honestly. So for me, I find it so much more fulfilling and much more satisfying to make games for people who want something that that just doesn't exist. Like 30 Flights of Loving is made for people who want a game that tells a story without kind of all the traditional things that first-person shooters have. You're not going to get shot at. You're not going to run out of health. You're not going to fall down and crack your head and have to reload. Like honestly, when I play a lot of games nowadays, I sometimes wish I could just hang out in this world and just see things. When I was playing Far Cry 3, it had this really detailed world with all these characters in it, and I just kind of wanted to hang out there and just like explore these islands and hang out with the animals. And I'm getting shot at all the time, so I just couldn't do that. They have these detailed worlds full of all these. I was playing. Whenever a game has a cork board or a chalkboard, I just spend all of my time just reading every single note. I was the guy in Half-Life 1 where when I found Gordon Freeman's locker, I just read over every single detail in that locker. And why is there a photo of a baby in there? And for me, that type of game just didn't exist. I'm always getting shot at. I'm always fearing for my life. So when a game like Gone Home comes out, which is all about just exploring this environment, which is all about kind of learning things through the world and these little notes and little artifacts that people leave in their houses, that was a game that I'm so happy exists now. It's basically a new genre. It's basically what I've been waiting for someone to do for a very long time. And there's so much value in making something for people who don't have things being made for them.